6 years since the bombs fell. And since I've left the vault, I've been trying to rebuild. This isn't the Appalachia that I remember. There's so much more to everything going on. And I promise to find the answer. So if you're out there, if you're listening, just hone in on these coordinates. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
The Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story, is available on iTunes, Spotify, and many great podcasting sources.
This is Brian with the Omega broadcast.
Quick question. Have you ever thought about making your own podcasts? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it really is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or even your phone. Anchor even does all the heavy lifting and distributes your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many great streaming services. It really is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or head on over to anchor.fm to get started.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story.
Testing. Okay, I hope this thing works. So grateful I was able to find that transmitter and get this radio up and running. I just hope the signal goes far enough for you, whoever you are, wherever you are. I just hope you can hear me. My name is Brian Burton. It's been 26 years since the bombs fell. And I was only 10 years old when that happened. I grew up in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, but 10 years old isn't a lot of time to remember much of a life before all of this. See, mostly all I can remember is fishing down by the riverbank with my friends and taking those school field trips to the Mothman Museum. Or my personal favorite thing was collecting Grognak comics and the Silver Shroud holotapes. You know, I was able to find so many more now. I even have some of those holotapes I like to listen to when I go to sleep. My dad owned a comics book store in the heart of the town, and he never really got the really good comics. His store wasn't like the Huber's comic stores, but man, he really loved that store. I don't know if it was trying to start a small business along with the pressure of losing his mining job to robots. But something really took a toll on his health. And man, did my dad hate robots. I remember he used to say, "Son, the bots belong to the Red Menace." And his favorite thing to always say was, "The only good robot is a scrapped robot." But sadly, he passed away just 2 weeks before Halloween. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. You see, I really wanted to be Grognak for Halloween. And we were supposed to take a trip over to the Valley Galleria Mall to buy me the costume, but sadly, I never made it to the mall. See, my dad had a heart attack that morning, and then I was sent off to live with my mom, who was a professor at Vault Tech University in Morgantown. See, the day the bombs fell, which was only a few days after my dad's death, my mom, she gave up her spot in the vault to save my life. She sacrificed herself for me. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a small part of me that feels like she's out here somewhere, watching me, or maybe trying to find me. I don't know. She used to always tell me, "Little bear, one day you will build a better world." And now I can't help but think there was some sort of prophecy in her words, because now more than ever, I understand the importance to rebuild and make this world better than it was before. Before I got on the bus headed to the vault that morning, sirens going off and chaos everywhere, my mom told me, no matter what, just do whatever the overseer says. And from the moment the vault doors close, that's all I've done. I really didn't fit in down in that vault. You know, everyone there were either teachers and professors or the smartest students from Vault Tech University. There were even some politicians and members of the military inside there. If I can recall, there were some celebrities too. And right smack in the middle of all of them, just a 10-year-old country kid. Let me tell you, I've seen and heard some pretty crazy stuff in that vault. And I remember people telling me to steer clear of this loudmouth girl and her tough-talking boyfriend. What were their names again? Chet. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I need to stay on track with my story before my generators run out of gas. Alright, so now cut 26 years later and I'm out of the vault. Back in the land I only knew as a kid. And for a whole year, the only other people around were people I had met in the vault. The overseer went missing. So many creatures and aggressive robots wanting to kill me all the time, and I discovered secret organizations and ex-military factions. Hell, I'm now a general in the United States Army somehow. I don't know how that works. I've even launched a nuclear missile to help stop the spread of a crazy disease. See, I wanted to tell you a little bit about me so you can have a better understanding of what I'm doing out here. Since the vault doors open, I've tried to build suitable settlements and places for people to call home, but none of them ever worked out until right now. I believe I found the perfect place to build. We've got fortified cliffs as a wall to protect us, and just a great place for safety. See, I call this place Omega. I feel like it's a fitting name for a new home in the end of the world. It's not a very big settlement, but I've got the ability to get water and food, and the hunting spots near here are always full of wild game like rat stags and rabbits and things. I even have a one-bedroom trailer that I've marked the inn for passersby, and there's even a bar for you to relax from your travels across Appalachia. One of the things I'm proudest of is the small market that I was able to open with pretty much anything that you might need. Well, at least some stuff to help get you to where you're going. And if you're looking for a place to make your permanent home, I've got plenty of room for you to build. So, if you're able to receive this broadcast, then I've marked my location inside it. Just put it into your map and head this way. Oh, shit. My generators look like they're starting to run out of fuel, so I think this is going to have to be all for now. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get one of those power plants up and running again, so I can get some sort of consistent power to this radio broadcast and to the settlement. Well, until then, this is Brian Burton signing off. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega. This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the two original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 five-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
Rated M for mature.
Because we don't believe in scripted advertisements, we're going to do this raw.
I'm regretting this decision.
No, you're not. This is the DL Weekly Gaming News. There's nothing to regret here because it's your source for everything in the gaming world. Every week, we bring it to you. Unscripted, unfiltered. That's why it's rated M for mature, right, Brenna?
Among many, many other reasons.
I am one of your hosts, Jameson.
And as he already said, I am Brenna, the other glorious part to this quality podcast.
You can find us every week wherever you listen to your podcasts at DL Gaming News. And you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter if you want some gaming news in your social media feed every day at DL Gaming News.
And you can find us individually if you really, truly want to see our faces. I am at DL_Mother Goose.
And I'm at DL Jameson. And this was an advertisement. Go fuck yourselves.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stop loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal, and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brian with the Omega Broadcast. Quick question. Have you ever thought about making your own podcasts? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it really is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or even your phone. Anchor even does all the heavy lifting and distributes your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many great streaming services. It really is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or head on over to anchor.fm to get started.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega Broadcast, a Fallout story.
Attention. If you're out there, if you're looking for a place to stay, a place to rest, the Omega is open for you. The coordinates are in this broadcast. Just program them into your map and head this way.
Alright, sounds good. Let me just input these coordinates. Set this loop. And done. Awesome. This is going to be great. I really feel like this broadcast is starting to actually work. I've had a few settlers wander through on their way down to that new settlement in the south. I think it's called Foundation. I've also had a few people come by and decide that they want to make Omega their home for a while. One person that came through is this old ghoul named Carl. You know, come to think of it, I haven't met that many ghouls out here in Appalachia. Well, except the feral zombified ones that want to kill me all the time. And there's that one guy at that wayward bar down by Vault 76, but yeah, that's about it. Carl seems like a great guy. I mean, he's a bit weathered by the world, but all in all, he's a genuine guy. He wears an old camouflage baseball cap with one of those mullet wigs sticking out the back. It's an odd choice of headwear, but, you know, he says it's classy. I personally think it's just so he can have hair and try to look a bit more human, even though the scruffy voice and lack of smoothish skin kind of takes all that away. He was in construction before the war and said he's been traveling the East Coast from Boston down here to West Virginia looking for a place to settle, and he felt like he could make Omega his home. I mean, he pretty much does everything around here. He helps keep the walls fortified, the plumbing, well, what plumbing there is, intact. He runs my farming. Hell, he's even built a water purifier so we don't have to keep boiling water every time we want a damn drink. I mean, he's essentially my right-hand man. And, you know, with having someone like that come in, I felt like I could finally go out and try to find answers. I could try and figure out ways to make this world better than it was before. So I did that, and I decided the first place I would go back to is Point Pleasant and visit my old home. I had tried once about a year ago when I first left the vault, but the town was overrun with scourge, and I just didn't feel all that hopeful about what I might find. But I'm so glad I decided to muster up the courage and go back. And you won't believe the things I happened to find. Using my Vault Tech issued Pip-Boy, I'm able to record logs of my travels, and so I'm going to play for you what I've discovered. Let me just load this holotape here into the terminal, and there. I've just arrived here at Point Pleasant. I'm staring at this old bridge that leads into town. Man, this place has changed so much from what I can remember. I used to go on bike rides with my dad across this old bridge. The sun would reflect off the Ohio River, would catch the purlings on the bridge, and create just a small glimmer of light with such a subtle warmth on your skin. Those are the pre-war memories that I hold on to. The ones that make days in this wasteland somewhat bearable. Now, this bridge is barely even holding up. Resting here on it are some old rusted up Corvegas and some sort of ritualistic tree decor. It seems like Point Pleasant is now a settlement for that crazy Mothman cult. Man, those guys are serious. Growing up, I heard tales of Mothman, and growing up in Point Pleasant, that's all I heard about, but they were just folk tales, but turns out they were real. I happened to wander up on one of the ritual sites one time, and let's just say those guys aren't too friendly to anyone who doesn't believe the Mothman is the ultimate deity. So the fact that they've made their place here, their home here, means I'm gonna have to be extra careful. I've made my way into the town, and I was able to sneak past a couple of those cultists that were on guard, and
can see my dad's old comic book store from here. It's just up the road across from the old Mothman Museum. I'm gonna head there and see if I can find anything. That's just great. The door is locked. You'd think 26 years later this door would have been busted open. I'm gonna have to pick this lock. Come on.
All right.
Come on, damn it. Yes, I'm in. Man, this place hasn't changed at all from what I can remember. Oh, except for everything covered in dust and these dead rats lying all around. Oh man. I used to sit over in this corner behind the cash register after school and read through the newest comic books that would come in. Let me just look behind the register here and see. Oh my God, no way. I can't believe it's still here after all these years. My favorite comic book. Grognak the Barbarian and the Jungle of the Bat Babies. Man, I must have read this at least 100 times. I'm taking this back with me. Wait. What is this? An old holotape? I never stored any holotapes in this spot. There's a label on it, but it's faded, and all I can seem to read is the word after. The rest of this label is just too corroded. I wonder if it'll play in this old gaming terminal.
There's so much more to everything going on. I promise that I'll find you when the time is right. Rotate holds the Professor Hamilton. My little bear. Just keep rebuilding.
This is impossible. There's no way. That was my mother's voice. I could swear she said little bear. And that's what she used to call me. It's weird though, this tape must be broken. Timestamp says 4-minute audio, but it's only playing 30 seconds. I'm gonna play it again and see what happens.
There's so much more to everything going on. I promise that I'll find you when the time is right. flow tank holds the Professor Hamilton. My little bear. Just keep rebuilding.
That's definitely my mom. What does this mean? This is crazy. The only thing is this tape is too damaged to keep playing and to understand properly. I mean, I heard a few things like Vault Tech and Professor Hamilton, whoever that is. And I'm gonna have to take this back to Omega and try and fix it. Maybe Carl has some knowledge of old holotapes and he can help me, but if not, I'm sure we can figure out how to get this thing working again. Man. Well, for now, I'm just going to keep going through this old store and see if I can find anything else. If anything, maybe a few more comics to add to my collection.
Alright, so this is where we're at. I've found a holotape with what I'm certain is my mother's voice on it. I mean, it has to be her. She's the only other person besides my dad that knew about that secret compartment behind the cash register. But the question is, when did she leave it there? Is she even still alive? The bigger question is, what the hell is actually on it? When I got back here to camp, I showed the tape to Carl, and he thinks he can clean it up and get it working properly, or at least working enough to get some sort of clue to what's on it. But he reckons it's going to take a few days, and possibly longer than that. He said we're going to have to scavenge the parts needed. If I can remember correctly, I think there's an electronics store at the Valley Galleria, or maybe a Super Duper Mart or something would have the parts. I tell you, it would be nice if any traveling traders that passed through had the spare parts, or at least something we needed, but, I'm not going to hold my breath. But yeah. So, today, I have hope. My thoughts aren't crowded with how to prevent mole rats from getting into my garden anymore. Those problems are so minuscule compared to what could possibly be on this tape. But I can't let the anxiousness and the wonder control me. I do want to say, Mom, if you are out there, if there's something on this holotape meant for me, I promise I'm going to do everything I can to figure it out. Your little bear is here. Well, I'm not so little anymore, but I am alive and well. And I'm doing everything in my power to bring some sort of structure and some sort of order to the constant chaos that surrounds us. going to figure this out. Okay, that's going to be all for this broadcast. So, to anyone out there listening, if you're looking for food and shelter, just hone in on these coordinates. Remember, there is a place for you at the end. Omega. This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the two original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 5-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
Do you like adventure?
Yeah.
Do you like laughing?
Yeah.
Would you like to listen to a group of people you don't know play D&D and reference retro pop culture you vaguely remember? Excellent. You're going to love Committee Quest. We play D&D in the world of Amarin. We use adventure modules and supplements made by people in the community. We also have a sweet synthwave backing track. Come and join us on our adventure. Volume 1 has been completed. Volume 2 coming the end of January. You can find us on iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stopped loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal, and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast Queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brian with the Omega broadcast. Quick question. Have you ever thought about making your own podcasts? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it really is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or even your phone. Anchor even does all the heavy lifting and distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many great streaming services. It really is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or head on over to anchor.fm to get started.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega Broadcast, a Fallout story.
Let's see, maybe I got this right. I'm just gonna start talking, and if you're listening, good. And if you ain't listening, well then you can't hear me, and what I'm gonna say won't matter much to you. So, those of you that can't hear me, go frick yourself. Unless the broadcast is on repeat, and you happen to stumble across it later on. Then you can still go frick yourself. Okay. Enough fricking yourself. It's time to get down to business. Brian is out trying to find some stuff to fix that old holotape he found. And while he's out, I figure it's about time to introduce myself. My name is Carl Cassidy. I'm probably the best damn good looking person left in this old world. And if you're wondering about my voice, yes, this amazing voice that should only arouse your curiosity, well, I sound like this because I'm a freaking ghoul. I'm not one of those mindless, wandering, trying to chase and eat your fool self, feral ghouls. Nope. I'm the sophisticated hyperghoul. CLASSY. You see, about 26 years ago when the bombs fell, those of us that couldn't afford to be in a vault had to just sit back and absorb the effects of that great mushroom cloud tanning salon. Our bodies soaked up all that radiation, and it turned us into what smooth-skinned wastelanders like to call ghouls. It's just unfortunate that some people soaked up a bit too much and it fried their brains, making them those crazy assholes I was talking about earlier. Okay, so now you're starting to get any idea what I look like, huh? Oh. Yeah, you are. And you know you like it. Before the war, I was a foreman for a construction company in Boston. But I'm not from Boston originally. I'm actually from Owensboro, Kentucky, the home of bluegrass. I do miss a good Kentucky barbecue. Your choice of sumptuous meat cooked all day so it's tender and delicious. And with all them fixins', Sometimes I'd like to sit on the porch here at Omega, chomping on big, juicy radstag and imagine the good old days. The days of stuffing my face with a big smoked brisket, washing it down with straight Kentucky bourbon, all while listening to the soundtrack of life. Blue Moon of Kentucky. Crickets and bluegrass. When I first made my way down to West Virginia, I wasn't exactly sure I'd like it here. But after finding Omega and meeting Brian, I'm starting to like this place. The only thing I'm not liking is all these damn ugly ass frogs. Seriously, they are freaking everywhere. I don't know why, but Brian has some weird obsession with collecting a bunch of frogs in jars. It kind of freaks me out. It also doesn't help that I can't stand those little bastards. And no, I'm not going to tell you why I hate them. That's a personal and somewhat horrific story that I am never getting into. I swear, one day, I'm gonna feed every last one of them to a death claw. But other than them slime devils, I'm loving it here. Brian let me know about his plans to try and rebuild and make this place better than before. And to tell you the truth, I like that a lot. When he got back with that old broken holotape, I saw something in him that I have not seen in anyone out here in a long time. I saw a man with hope. And even though I'm skeptical towards just about everything, I'm happy to make this place a home. Oh no. Oh. Now listen here, you little ass hopper. If you come anywhere near me, I swear I'm gonna... God damn it. Sit still, you dick. Well, I think I need to go now. Look at this damn mess.
Carl? Hello? Come in. Carl. What the hell's going on?
Nothing. Why? What's up? How's the hunt for pots going?
Yeah, that's going good. Why the hell are you broadcasting? And did something happen to Prince, my frog?
It's all good.
How can it be all good? I just heard gunshots and stuff. What the hell, man?
Don't worry about anything. Just take your time getting back.
Carl? Carl, wait. Carl, what the f...
This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the two original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 five-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
Do you like adventure?
Yeah.
Do you like laughing?
Yeah.
Would you like to listen to a group of people you don't know play D&D and reference retro pop culture you vaguely remember? Excellent. You're going to love Committee Quest. We play D&D in the world of Amarin. We use adventure modules and supplements made by people in the community. We also have a sweet synthwave backing track. Come and join us on our adventure. Volume 1 has been completed. Volume 2 coming the end of January. You can find us on iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stop loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal, and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Check out what Carl's got for me. All right, Carl, I'm here. I'm ready to see what you've got so far.
You go on and grab a seat while I get this loaded up. Now remember, it's not completely fixed yet, but I am making some progress. I was able to dismantle the old holotape and rebuild it using parts from those extra blank holotapes you found last week. And like I said, it's not completely fixed yet, but I do think you're going to appreciate what I found so far.
This is Molly Burton, Voltec ID badge number 23A6G9. I'm recording this message for you, son, because there is so much more to everything going on. It has been 6 years since I sent you to the vault, but by the time you'll be able to hear this message, a lot will have changed. I'm sitting here looking at this old picture of you and your dad. It's the one from that Christmas when we got you the Unstoppables board game. Your dad would always try and aggravate you by picking Grognak first. Oh, my sweet little bear. Oh, how I miss you. I will never fully understand the pressure that we put you under. Just believe me when I say your father and I only wanted for your safety. The world has changed so much in just 6 years. I know you probably have so many questions and are wondering if or how I am still alive. Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, I don't want you to try and find me. I have more important things I need you to take care of. If possible, I will find you when the time is right. The main thing I want you to know and understand is that Voltech University holds the answers. In the classroom next to my office, there is a powered-down Mr. Handy robot named Professor Hamilton. I have loaded a database into his memory core, so seek out Professor Hamilton and repair him, but do not leave him after you retrieve the database. I programmed him to work for you. All you need to do is confirm yourself as owner by dropping in a DNA sample. A lock of your hair should do the trick.
No, wait. Carl, what are you doing? Let it keep playing.
There's no point. The audio is still dirty and scrambled from there. But based on the timestamp, it does show that there's still about a minute of audio left.
Okay, so how do we get the rest of the audio?
I know that this is going to sound silly, but I'm going to need some literal cleaning supplies. The polyester film in the tape is just too corroded to get any more audio. I was able to get most of the tape cleaned with a bit of spit and Nuka-Cola drops, but the rest is just too damaged.
Okay, so what do you need to clean it?
Well, to be honest, it's a bit of a delicate process. Getting some Abraxo cleaner should be powerful enough to do the trick. The only thing is, if I apply too much, it could eat through the film, destroying it completely.
Okay, so I need to find some Abraxo cleaner laundry detergent. Should be simple enough.
Yeah, but it's not that simple, though. We could lose whatever is left on the tape. And whatever answers you were looking for would be gone forever.
Yeah, I get that, Carl, but you said it's too dirty to clean any other way, and well, I see no other way. It's a risk that we're just gonna have to take. There's an old super duper mart in Morgantown that I think I can most likely get some Abraxo from, and since I need to go to Vault-Tec University anyway to retrieve that robot, I can stop by there first and grab those supplies.
I wouldn't head that way today. This rad storm looks pretty big, and we've got some weathering we need to do down here to make sure we don't lose any crops.
Yeah, you're right. I'll head out first thing in the morning. Let's get to work before the storm gets here. You go make sure the water filtration system's covered, and I'll go tarp the garden.
Sounds good.
Hey, Carl! I'm gonna head up to the radio room and put out an alert to all the camps and the settlements to the south to warn them about the storm. Attention. To anyone listening, if you're located to the southeast of the White Spring, please take note. An extremely large radiation storm is headed your way. If you have no protective gear or the ability to block any radiation in any way, please take shelter immediately. I say again, anyone located in any region to the southeast of...
We are watching.
In the world?
We are the keepers of existence. We are many. We have seen you all.
The radio was just shut off.
The days of the dry lands are over, and the rains are coming.
The hell?
All will be held responsible for their day within the reckoning. We are watching. We are the keepers of existence. We are many.
was that? It's like all the power has been cut to the transmitter. That's strange. This is very strange. The coordinates for this transmission are showing all over the map. Every relay point is broadcasting that message. What the hell? This is totally impossible. If I'm reading this right, it shows that the broadcast even came right here from Omega. One thing at a time, Brian. One thing at a time. Just gonna get some rest. I can figure this out when I get back from Morgantown. You know, I've always enjoyed the trek up here to Morgantown. Something about the houses on VTU campus, Greek Row, and you can tell that this area was really a place of a lot of parties before the bombs. It reminds me. I need to stop by and see Biv at the speakeasy and grab some of that tick blood tequila before I head home for Carl. This store's all busted up, man. Looks like I'm not alone up this way. There's probably some raiders, some sort of feral ghouls around here, I guess. I don't know. But I need to be on alert. My God, this is a big super duper mart. Brings back the small memories of having to grocery shop with my mom. Man, I hated tagging along for those trips. This place looks like it's been looted pretty hardcore. It's strange, it's covered in wildlife and flora and fog. It almost looks like the mire in here. Weird. All right, let's see. Which aisle is gonna have what I'm looking for? Aisle 1, bread and fresh produce. No. It looks like aisle 12, cleaning supplies and health and beauty aids. Yeah, that's where I need to go. Oh, wow. There's got to be at least 15 boxes of Abraxo here. Didn't say how many he needed, so I'm just going to grab a couple just to be safe. It's never a bad thing to have more than one. What is that? There's an orange glow coming from the back of the store. It's this mist covering the floor. It's like the orange glow's coming from inside that meat freezer. Alright, this is weird. This is really weird. All along the back wall are what looks to be a row of cocoons. Let me cut one of these open. Whoa. Whoa. What the These are all filled with dead bodies. These are all dead Mothmen. Their eyes are gouged out and their teeth look like they're ripped from their mouths. What was that? Come on, man, get it together. I think I need to take a picture of some of these cocoons and research more later on to see what they could be. This is way too strange to ignore. Hello? Who's there? Alright, who the hell are you? Come on now. Just wait right there. I said don't move. What the Where am I? Who are you?
Well, look who decided to finally wake up. Welcome to our home, outsider. Looks like we need to have a little talk.
This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast of Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the two original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 5-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
Hey there, my name's Jameson, or Big Cat.
And I am Brenna, or Mother Goose.
And together, we are the hosts of the DL, Weekly Gaming News.
Each week, we bring you the top stories from last week, as well as something you might have missed.
Our goal is to start a conversation about what's going on in the world of gaming.
And every week, we have a special guest join us in the chat room, where we discuss a different gamer-related topic and learn more about our guests in the 60-second download.
And if that isn't enough, we also have Slim Jims.
So come and hang out with us every week and join in on the conversation.
Good luck and have fun, everybody.
And remember, keep your goose loose.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stop loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast Queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega Broadcast, a Fallout story.
What's up, everybody? This is Brian Gwatney with the Omega Broadcast, a Fallout Story podcast. I just wanted to do a little quick bonus little update news segment here. I know it's been a little bit of a while between episode 3 and episode 4, but there is a reason for this. We put out a casting call about a month ago. And we really started to see traction with casting auditions for a few new characters that we're bringing into the story. And so we've added a few new cast members to the show, if I can get my head around what I'm trying to say. And so the exciting part about that is that takes a lot more time getting lines out and getting scripts out and getting lines back. But we've got a really talented and awesome cast that are going. And actually some of the voice actors are new that some of you may not have ever heard act before in a radio drama podcast. And some of them you've heard like in the Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast. There's a great man. Dr. Mark, he's awesome. He's going to play a few characters for us within the show, and he nails it. And so I'm really excited to see where the story continues to go as I continue to write and things like that. But to get back to what the delay in, the large gap, the more I started writing these scripts, when I first started writing in episode 1 is more of an origin kind of introduction to the setting, I guess you could say. And it was very narrative based and from my point of view, of my character's point of view and things he'd experienced. And then I started noticing that the things that I like to listen to are a lot like what we hear in Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't heard that yet and you've come across this podcast, I definitely recommend going. I mean, they finished season 1 and they're actually about to kick off season 2. And it is amazing. If you love radio dramas and you love dark humor, definitely check that out. But anyways, back to what I was saying. And the more I started writing the script for episode 2, I started feeling
I wanted to broaden the universe and broaden the horizon of the way I wanted to do the script and be more cinematic in the styling. And so I started writing new characters in. Well, that, brought up the possibility of casting other people. And you guys met our first edition, Carl, who's played by a really awesome guy, Anders. He's in our community, and he's amazing voice actor, amazing storyteller, and he just handles that perfect. And so you saw it kind of grow there, and then my wife plays the voice of Molly Burton, Brian's mother. And so you guys have heard her amazing acting, and like as a husband, obviously I'm biased towards that because she's outstanding in just about everything she does. But anyways, I ran into a few snags, and I don't want to get into details. A few people that are close to me kind of know the snags that I ran into, which put a delay in writing and caused a big hiccup within the script and losing some scripts and stuff like that. But just to let you guys know, episode 4 script is done. All the lines are in, and we're actually finalizing everything, so it will be up soon. I know I like to have it on Tuesdays, and we were actually supposed to release Tuesday this week, but it's going to be a little bit longer. We have a really cool addition coming to this episode of something that I've commissioned from someone who's a talented and amazing songwriter and musician, and we're going to have a specific song specifically catered towards the podcast, and it will be featured within this next episode. So be looking forward to that. I know I've actually shared a little bit more than I wanted to share with that, so my lips are going to be sealed in that moment, and so right now in this moment, so you can kind of get excited and wait and listen into episode 4 to see what's going on with Brian and this new mysterious character that he's encountered. I wonder where it's going to go. But anyways, love you guys, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everyone who shares, likes this show. I really do enjoy writing this stuff. It's really expanded my creativity because it's one facet of my life that I love to really engage in, is to see how creative I can be. And I love design and things like that. And writing is something I've always liked to do, even from, early teenage years up to now, but I've never really experienced this. So I want to give a shout out to Ken with the Chad Fallout 76 podcast for really pushing me and trying to get me to express the creative side of my brain. But anyways, like I said, I love you all. Thank you so much for your support and your love of the show, for the reviews, and for liking and sharing and just supporting every facet. I look forward to seeing you guys in the wasteland. Remember, you have a future because there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Since the dawn of time, there have been storytellers who teach through their stories. These myths give rise to fundamental truths, and these truths shape our collective experience. Yet these myths are not something of the past, and today they engage us more fully in the story itself. Video games allow us to live the lives of our favorite myths. My name is Blue Crew 86, host of Focus Fire Chat, and I want to invite you to explore our modern-day myths with us. Join with us as we explore the stories, the mythologies of the Destiny franchise, as well as other games. Let's explore together.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the 2 original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 five-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stop loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal, and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast Queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega Broadcast, a Fallout story. Well, look who decided to finally wake up. Welcome to our home, outsider. Looks like we need to have a little talk.
Where am I? And who the hell are you?
There will be plenty of time for questions, outsider. But for now, it's best you keep quiet. And you just walk with me now. Everyone, gather round. In this moment, we have an opportunity. We have the ability and obligation to uphold our responsibility and rid this world of heretics. To purge this land of the filth and vile that only seeks to destroy us. Some might say we are extreme in our actions. Some might even say we contradict ourselves. But I say it's only relevant to be extreme, and sometimes contradictions, will they bring out the truth. Kneeling before you right now is a man that has taken a stance against our way of living, a man that believes good-natured and kind-hearted people like yourselves are nothing more than a ruse, a threat to lure people into some kind of trap.
What are you talking about? I'm just a wanderer, a traveler. I've never said or done anything.
Quiet, you. I would not have you spewing your ignorance and lies into the ears of my people. You, just like so many others before, have traveled and wandered through our land with only one thing in your mind: chaos. Good people of Eden, listen as I speak. I have made a vow from the beginning. From the moment the first Strangler Heart was born, we will not and we shall not allow chaos. Our scriptures speak very clearly about chaos. Listen, children, as I read from the book of Salavar. Chaos was bestowed upon us. We opened our doors to kindness and we offered our home to the outsider. But chaos was bestowed upon us. The outsider laid waste to the ones before. In chaos they drew blood, but in blood we saw the truth's beginning. We saw the heart created to strangle out chaos, the heart in which we become many. Because we are the keepers of existence. We are many.
We are many.
Beautiful people of Eden, we have seen these types of men before. We offered our kindness, we offered our help, and in that offering, they brought their chaos and they brought bloodshed. But there is a greatness within their misdeeds, a kind of light within their darkness. It is because of their chaos that we were given this beautiful land, this land that they call the Maya. We were given back the Garden of Eden. And we must keep her. We must see that she grows. We must keep her existence. So, as I have said many, many times before, and as the scriptures guide us, we must feed our land with the blood of the outsider.
What? Please, don't kill me. Please, just let me go. I could be a warning to all, to leave you alone. I could be a voice of reason. Please don't kill me.
Oh, outsider, I'm not killing you. No, sir. I'm rebirthing you.
Please don't.
May your old body feed the ground, and you become reborn into the vine. Children of Eden, deliver this man to the heart. See that he is reborn into her bosom. Now back to you, other outsider. How about we have that talk now? Come, follow me into my tent. Well now, outsider, I know your mind must be riddled with a million questions. But first, let me take a moment and introduce myself. My name, well, you can call me Bishop. I'm the leader around here. All those people you see out there, the children of Eden, you can call us the missionaries. And I do so apologize for my lack of hospitality lately. Normally, I don't allow myself a new face into Eden without a formal introduction. But that ceremony, that sermon, and that service was a necessity. And I thought it rather important that you see it.
That was no ceremony or sermon or service. That was an execution.
Oh no, outsider. Why must we always see things as primitive and brutal? No. That was a rebirthing service. Now, I do so hate informalities. So tell me, outsider, what is your name?
My name is Brian. Brian Burton.
Ah, yes. I know this name. You are the one we hear over the radio at night. You're the one from that place. What's it called again? Oh, yes. Omega. Well, this is a rather interesting situation that we have here. Well then, Brian from Omega, would you like a drink? Or something to eat, perhaps? You must be tired, after all. It has been 3 days since my people recovered you.
3 days? Are you serious? You mean I've been out for 3 days?
Why, yes. It is a bit of a long journey out here. And the sedatives that we craft here are extremely, how should I say this? Effective. Now please, sit at my table. Eat, drink, refill yourself.
Oh, man. Let me get this straight. So you're the ones that hijacked my broadcast the other day. I don't know what to say. I really can't stay here, sir. If you don't mind, I would like to leave, but from what I saw earlier, I don't think you're going to let me go anytime soon, are you?
You are a very perceptive young man. You're right to say that you will not be leaving anytime soon, but if you're worried about us rebirthing you, please remove that notion from your mind. I only want to understand you better. You see, I've heard your broadcast. You play them on loops in the evening hours. I know your story. You and I are a lot more alike than you realize. The only problem is, you do not see the truth.
How are we anything alike? I mean, really, I don't understand that at all.
You were once what these outsiders like to call a vault dweller, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Vault 76.
I too am from a vault as well. Actually, many of the people that you saw in this camp were from a vault.
But I've never seen any of you before. I don't know how you could be from my vault.
Yes, that would be the case. We were all in a different vault. You see, our vault was Vault 94.
Honestly, I didn't even know there were other vaults out here in West Virginia. I mean, I do remember when I was in school, people from Vault Tech came and talked about vaults, but I always assumed there were only a few vaults in other states.
Yes, there are multiple vaults all over the United States, and West Virginia had many as well. And ours, Vault 94, just like yours, Vault 76, were just a few of many.
Okay. This is really starting to mess with my head. After the doors to my vault opened, everyone from there just scattered across Appalachia. I mean, I've seen a few people around from Vault 76. I've had a few even come through and buy things at my settlement, but everyone, for the most part, just scattered. So I guess my question to you is, how and why did you all stay together?
Well, the history of our vault has taken a long time for me to transcribe. You see, there are only a handful of us here, originally from Vault 94. The rest are just converts that have seen the truth, or children born from our people.
But you said you were all from Vault 94.
Yes, for the most part, we are all descendants of Vault 94. There were only a few of us that made it out alive.
Alive?
Yes.
I don't understand.
This is what I meant when I said our only difference is you not seeing the truth. I will tell you the story from our scriptures, but first you need to eat, and I will not ask again. If you decide not to replenish yourself, that is a burden you will carry. Once the food is gone, I will not make the offer again.
Okay. I'll eat.
Very good. Very good. Lily.
Yes, Father.
Come set the table. Our guest requires food.
Right away.
This is my daughter, Lily. She will take care of your food requests. Anything you need, just tell her.
Hi. I have some lemonade and roasted Brahmin. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Thank you.
No problem. We are the keepers of existence. We are many.
That will be all, Lily. Now leave us.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Okay. As you replenish yourself, I will share our scripture with you in the story of our beginning. The Book of Salavar, Chapter 1. In the beginning, the council was formed. We lived in a society of constant need and people living above their means. So the Great Purge was a necessity. We were taught stories of Armageddon from religions of old. But in what they believed to be the end, we now understand as the true Genesis, the true beginning. Our home was established to preserve faith. We were brought together to keep a belief of a higher calling alive. In our home, we held the hope that was to restore humanity. Our great leader, Pastor Gabriela Salavar, and the council that once governed us was set aside as martyrs that would bring forth the cleanse of Eden. When the outsiders came and chaos took away the council and our Gek was destroyed, we fled into the wilderness nearby, only to see the truth begin to manifest. In what we thought to be destruction, we began to see life. The beautiful mist began to spread across the land, and the vines would soon after grow, and the strangler heart would soon be born. To the outsider, this world would become the Maya, but to the believer, to the many that would understand truth, this place was the rebirth of the Garden of Eden. We thought in the beginning that peace meant non-violence, but we understand now how naive non-violence is. We cannot trust the outsider. We must purify the wilderness. If the outsider does not become the many, we must rebirth them into the strangler's heart. Our mission will see Eden grow. We will see the garden flourish. We are called to preserve the faith, and because of this, we are the keepers of existence. We are many. So, Brian from Omega, do you now understand?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't totally understand that. But what I do think I got from that is that when you open your vault doors, people from the outside killed your overseer?
You are somewhat hearing correctly, but no one killed our overseer. We in fact did not have an overseer. We had a council whose destiny were martyrs to bring forth the Garden of Eden.
Okay. Again, if I'm being totally honest, I'm still a tad bit lost.
When you go outside, take a look around. You'll see the great vines. These vines are all connected to the strangler heart. The great strangler heart is only made strong by the ones that were martyred and the ones that we rebirth. This is why we are many. When we are martyred for the truth, we become one with the heart. And when someone comes along who cannot see the truth, we call them an outsider, and we rebirth them so they also can become the many. And those of us left awake who understand the truth are left as the keepers of existence. It is our job to feed the heart.
But I still don't understand. What is the truth?
Ha ha ha. In that little question, I can see that you're starting to see a glimmer of the truth. You see, we believe, we know that the truth is Eden. The truth will see the spread of Eden. The truth will see the garden completed.
So that's why the inside of that super duper mart looked like a mini version of the mire.
Ah, so that's where they recovered you. The super duper mart in Morgantown. That is one of our first expansion zones. We have, through the great minds of some of our people, created a way to carry the Strangler Heart wherever we wish to go. And with this new, armor, you could call it, we can help the expansion of Eden. That old mart is only one of many places we have begun our expansions.
Okay. So the dots are starting to connect for me. But what were the cocoons I found in the store? The ones filled with all those dead Mothmen?
Yes, those are our way to see outsiders and abominations reborn into the heart. The cocoons are just holding the bodies for when the vines can spread and receive them as a part of the many. And the Mothmen, well, they're just another abomination that will be rebirthed into Eden.
Okay, so I think I'm starting to get it. You believe what happened to your vault is somehow an awakening and somehow a true faith as to how the world should be. And anyone who doesn't believe it, you kill and, well, you justify it by just saying it's a rebirthing or whatever.
Careful, Brian from Omega. You are treading on soft ground. You are close to speaking in the language of an outsider.
But I am an outsider. I don't believe in a reincarnated heart where we become many, as you've said. I don't believe what happened to your vault was somehow an awakening to a new faith or something that was intended all along. I think what happened to the people in your vault was a tragedy. I believe that the people that murdered them are bad, but it's still not a justification to murder someone or anyone that doesn't believe what you teach.
I see a lot of bravery in you, but I don't see it as a heroic bravery. No, I see it as a stupid bravery. A sort of bravery that would see your current way of life come to an end. You don't seem to understand that no matter if you see the truth or not, we will all become one with Eden eventually. It's just on you to decide if it's through the glory of a martyr or through the pain of rebirth. Okay, I must calm down. I apologize. I understand that this is a lot for you, and it is why I must take some time to think about your future. I must pray to the Stranglerheart and see what Eden's decision is for you.
So you mean whether to kill me or not?
Oh, again with that primitive language. Do not fear, Brian from Omega. You will not be a captive in a cage. You will not be bound by ropes. While I cannot permit you to leave at this moment, you are still seen as an honored guest within our camp. Take your time, meet our people, and see if your eyes begin to see the truth.
Hiya, mister. Did you like the lemonade? I made it myself. Used a recipe that my mom used to have. I really like lemonade. It's my favorite. So, did you like it? Huh? Did you?
Yeah. It was good. Very sweet and tasty.
Well, I'm glad. I love when I get to see new people taste it. Making lemonade is one of my favorite things to do. Well, that and singing, but I don't really know that many songs. Do you like to sing, mister?
You don't have to call me mister. You can call me Brian.
Well, Mr. Brian, do you like to sing?
Yeah. I don't mind singing.
I like to sing along to the songs that come on the radio. My daddy doesn't really let me listen to it that much, though. He says the radio is just there to guide us away from the truth.
So, your name is Lily, right? And that guy Bishop, he's your dad?
Yep, sure is. Daddy says a lily was the prettiest flower in all the world. And it was my mommy's favorite flower, too. And my mommy named me Lily because I'm special. It makes me the last lily on the whole earth.
Well, Lily, it's very nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Brian. I think my daddy wants me to show you around our camp and where you'll be sleeping.
Okay. Well, you lead the way.
Okay, Mr. Brian. Follow me right this way. So you've already seen where me and my daddy live, so let's head over to the prayer tree. Way up high in this tree is a whole bunch of big red vines. Daddy says that those vines are what gives us a real connection to the Garden of Eden. He says when he prays, those vines take his prayers to the great strangler heart.
Oh, wow. That's a huge tree. That treehouse goes way up there.
Uh-huh. But I'm not allowed to go up there. Daddy says he's the only one that really understands what the vines say. He said that one day he'll teach me how to hear the vines and what the strangler heart wants. Daddy doesn't like it when anything interrupts his prayer time. He's up there praying right now, so it's probably a good idea if I show you some more of the camp.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't want to do anything to upset your dad.
Let's head to one of my favorite places. We call it the Song Circle. This is the Song Circle. We come here when Daddy wants to read the style of our scriptures, and we come here a lot when we sing songs to the garden.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice guitar. That's one of those well-tuned guitars. You know, I used to take lessons when I was your age, but I only learned to play one song. It was a lullaby that my mom used to sing to me.
Oh, I just love music, and I love to hear new songs. Please, 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 would you sing it for me? I would love to hear it if you don't mind.
Oh, I haven't played in forever. Okay, yeah, sure. But please, don't judge me too much. It's been a long time since I've even picked up a guitar.
Yay! Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm so excited.
Close your eye, rest your mind. Let this song be enough. For come what may, blue skies are gray. You'll always be loved. And when you wake up from your slumber, I was there all along. It doesn't matter what sky you're under, you'll always be home, always be home. Safe in my arms, it's where you belong, it's where you belong. Close to my heart, it's where you belong, I swear you belong. To me.
Oh, wow! That was so beautiful! Such a pretty song!
Thanks. Yeah, my mom used to sing it to me when I was little.
Does your mommy still sing it to you?
No, I actually don't know where she is. We got separated about 26 years ago, so I really don't even know if she's still alive.
I don't have my mommy anymore either. Daddy said she became a part of the Garden of Eden right when I was born. I have a picture of her, though. She was really beautiful.
You look a lot like her, Lily.
I do get sad that I can't talk to her, or ever got to see her face for real. But Daddy says Mommy is still here. She is around me in this land and all the pretty flowers. He said every time I see the big vines move, that's just my mommy showing me that she's here.
Yeah, I think I know how you feel. I miss talking to my mom. But I did get sort of a good feeling when I found this tape, and the tape had her voice on it.
You can hear your mommy's voice? I've never heard my mommy before. What did the tape say?
Well, I don't really have the full tape recording because, well, the tape was so busted when I found it. But I'm pretty sure it was recorded for me, and it was actually recorded 6 years, well,
after the bombs fell.
Bombs? Oh, yeah. Daddy says that's called the Great Purge. Purse?
Purge?
Well, something like that.
Yeah, okay, so when the bombs fell, or purge, that's when I got separated from my mom. And like I said, the tape I found was recorded for me to find. And because it was recorded 6 years after we separated, it makes me think that she's still out there.
You mean your mommy is probably still around somewhere?
Yeah. I was actually headed to recover a clue that would lead me to her, but then I ran into some of your people and, well, they brought me here.
Oh no, that's sad. I mean, I'm so glad you're here, but it makes me sad that you didn't get to find your clue. What is a clue?
A clue is something that helps lead you to what you're looking for. Okay, think of it like this. Do you have any toys that you have that may go missing or get lost?
Yeah, I have a blue Mr. Fuzzy toy that has a hole in his side.
Oh, okay, yeah, perfect. So just think if your Mr. Fuzzy went missing and you saw some of the stuffing that's inside it lying all over the ground, well, that stuffing would be a clue that might help you find your Mr. Fuzzy.
Well, what is your clue?
It's less of a what is my clue and more of a, well, who is my clue? So the parts that I can hear on the tape my mom left says there's a robot waiting for me where she used to work. And inside the robot could be more clues on how to find her. I don't know.
So you weren't able to find the robot? Or what was inside it?
Nope. I actually never even got to look for it. I got knocked off course when I got brought here.
Well, aren't you going to go and find your clue?
I would love to, Lily, but I really don't think your dad or any of those guards over there are going to be letting me leave anytime soon.
Well, I'm sure my daddy will let you leave. At least I hope he lets you find your mommy.
I'm not so sure, kid. See, me and your daddy don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, so really don't think he'll let me go for just any reason.
Well, if I had a chance to talk to my mommy, I know my daddy would let me go. I think when he finds out it's to see your mommy, he will. But we won't know until he gets done with prayer time. So until then, let me show you where you will sleep. It's a really nice tent. I'll come bring you food later for supper, and maybe you can teach me that song your mommy would sing.
Okay, kid. Sounds like a plan.
Mr. Brian! Mr. Brian, wake up! Wake up, mister!
Oh, Lily, okay. Why are you pointing that gun at me?
Oh, sorry. This is your gun and your bag. I got it from my daddy's tent.
Wait, what? What time is it? Why on earth did you grab all my things?
Well, I was cleaning up when I heard a man's voice speaking inside your backpack. So I opened it and a little radio was in it, and a man with a real growly voice was saying your name.
That must have been Carl. If I've been missing for as many days as your dad said, then he is probably looking for me. Is my walkie still in this bag?
Walkie?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that little radio with the man's voice.
Well, when I found the radio, my dad came into the tent. He didn't like me going through your stuff, and when he heard the man's voice too, he smashed the radio.
No. That's my only way to communicate back to Omega.
Omega?
Yeah. Omega's my home, and radio was the only way for me to stay in contact with the people that live at my home.
Well, when Daddy smashed the radio, he got really mad. But I tried to make him happy by telling him you're looking for your mommy. But that made him even more mad. And he told me to stop talking to you and to stay away from you. He said you were telling me a fib and that you don't have a mommy.
Lily, why are you here with my stuff?
Well, I love my daddy, and I trust in the scriptures he teaches me. But that song you sang, it really made me feel happy. Like my own mommy was singing to me. So I don't think you're fibbing to me. I think my daddy just doesn't know you yet. I think if I had a chance to see my mommy for real, instead of just a picture or the pretty flowers, I would do anything to see her.
Okay. So, what are you saying?
Well, Mr. Bryan, I'm going to help you leave.
Help me leave? How can you do that?
My daddy is asleep right now, and Mr. Joe that was guarding your tent is also asleep outside. So I sneaked your stuff here, and I can show you a way out of our camp.
But Lily, won't you get in trouble?
Not if they think you ran away. I've seen a lot of people run away from here. Most of them get brought back here for a rebirth ceremony, but some never come back. So if I help you leave, maybe they'll think you got away.
This doesn't sound very promising.
Hush, silly. Just grab your stuff and follow me. Okay, Mr. Bryan, this should be far enough away. You see that road over there? If you take that road, it should lead you out far enough to find where you need to go.
Lily, kid, thank you so much. I really don't know how I could ever repay you. Are you sure you're not going to get into any trouble?
Oh, Mr. Bryan, don't worry about me. Like I said, it'll look like you just ran off. Daddy won't be happy, but it's okay.
Here, I got something for you. Take this.
What's this? Grognak the Barbarian and the Jungle of the Bat Babies? Sounds silly.
No. It's really good. It's a comic book. It's filled with adventure, and there's actually a lady in there that, well, she reminds me a lot of you. She's very brave. I think you'll really like it. It was my favorite.
Thank you. I love it. I really hope you find your mommy. It'll be good if you do.
Yeah, it will. Listen, it was really great to meet you, Miss Lily.
You too, Mr. Bryan. Maybe we'll see each other again one day.
Maybe. Maybe we will. See you around, kid.
Good morning, Brian from... Well, that sneaky son of a bitch. He's gone. Joseph, enter this tent immediately. I must have words with you.
Yes, sir. What seems to be the matter?
Take a look around, young Joseph. Do you seriously not notice anything out of the ordinary?
Well, now, the prisoner's gone missing.
Firstly, he was an honored guest. And secondly, how could he be missing?
Well, sir, I might have fallen asleep last night. But it wasn't my fault, sir. I've been up for days working alongside the new converts on the garden expansion, and I succumbed to my weariness.
Now listen here, you old worthless bag of bones. One thing that I must have within my ranks is order. When there is no order, there is only chaos. And as a second priest, you should know and understand that the garden cannot thrive when there is chaos. So please don't stand there and say it was not your fault. We must all take responsibility for the things that happen within our care.
Yes, sir. I understand, and I apologize. I take full responsibility for the...
Oh, dear. How I do hate chaos. Missionaries, children of Eden, please gather round. We have had a valued guest go missing once again. I need the ones set aside as ambassadors to go forth into the communities all throughout this land and seek the one called Brian Burton from Omega. We also know the location of his settlements, as he has encoded the coordinates within every broadcast. So you do as you must. Make yourselves blend within those communities, and when you find him, bring him to me. We never finished our conversation.
Close your eyes, rest your mind. Let this song be enough. Come what may, blue skies or gray, you'll always be loved. You'll always be loved. Safe in my arms, that's where you belong. That's where you belong. Close into my heart, that's where you belong. I swear you belong. And when you wake up from your slumber, and I was there all along, it doesn't matter what sky you're under, you'll always be home. You'll always be home. Safe in my arms, that's where you belong. That's where you belong. Close into my heart, that's where you belong. I swear you belong. Safe in my arms, that's where you belong. That's where you belong. Close into my heart, that's where you belong. I swear you belong. Close your eyes and rest your mind. Let this song be enough. And when you wake up from your slumber, was there all along.
This is Brian Gwatney, the creator of the Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story. I just wanted to take a moment real quick and just say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy listening to these stories just as much as I enjoy making them. If you do enjoy this podcast, please let me know by liking, sharing, and even through your comments. Thank you again so much for your support. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
Hey friends, this is Robots, the creator of the Robots Radio Podcast Network and host of the two original shows on the network, the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. These two shows have rocketed up the iTunes charts. They both together have over 150 five-star reviews in only a couple of months, with bite-sized episodes that take you step by step through the background of the games and the game worlds. They're thought-provoking, well-produced, and a lot of fun. I recommend you go check them out at robotsradio.net or on any podcast reader, podcatcher, whatever you use, iTunes, Spotify. Again, that's the Fallout Lorecast and the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, available everywhere.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Brad. We're lifelong friends.
And the hosts of the Film and Whiskey Podcast. This is the show where each week we review a classic movie and a glass of whiskey.
That's right. Every week we go in depth on a well-known movie while sampling the best from the world of scotch, bourbon, and more.
Because nothing goes better with strong opinion than equally strong liquor.
Bob's a movie nerd.
Brad's an average Joe.
But together, we give fresh insights and hot takes on the world of movies and spirits.
So check out the Film and Whiskey Podcast.
Part of the Robots Radio Network.
Since the dawn of time, there have been storytellers who teach through their stories. These myths give rise to fundamental truths, and these truths shape our collective experience. Yet these myths are not something of the past, and today they engage us more fully in the story itself. Video games allow us to live the lives of our favorite myths. My name is Blue Crew 86, host of Focus Fire Chat, and I want to invite you to explore our modern-day myths with us. Join with us as we explore the stories, the mythologies of the Destiny franchise, as well as other games. Let's explore together.
In a world where solid-state electronics and vacuum tubes are still meta, people never stop loving atomic-powered everything. A chosen 500 stepped inside a subterranean vault to be spared the nuclear horror of the inevitable Great War. 25 years later, they emerge after the fallout settles to retake Appalachia. Among them, two former rivals whose blood feud will tear West Virginia apart in their epic struggle for survival. Chad, a vault bro who has a strength of 15, an intelligence of 2, and is a complete wasteland dickhead. Simon, a complicated anti-hero who chooses light and hope, but accidentally becomes a cannibal, and wakes up naked and afraid with a Scorch Beast Queen after a date goes terribly wrong. What? I mean, it's a wild wasteland, right? This dark humor radio drama will have you driving off the road and crawling out from under the fallout. 2 men, 1 wasteland, and so many nukes. Chad, a Fallout 76 podcast, rated R, now streaming on your holotape player podcasty thing.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
My name is Brian Burton. It's been 26 years since the bombs fell. And since I've left the vault, I've been trying to rebuild. This isn't the Appalachia that I remember. There's so much more to everything going on. And I promise to find the answer. So if you're out there, if you're listening, just hone in on these coordinates. Remember, there's a place for you at the end. Omega.
The Omega broadcast, A Fallout Story, is available on iTunes, Spotify, and many great podcasting sources. What's going on, everybody? This is Brian with the Omega broadcast. Quick question. Have you ever thought about making your own podcasts? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it really is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or even your phone. Anchor even does all the heavy lifting and distributes your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many great streaming services. It really is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or head on over to anchor.fm to get started.
Robots Radio presents
The Omega Broadcast, A Fallout Story.